And I saw something like I know I'm in the red pill, so like, and from most places, like Jordan Peterson's work is like really like, wow, that guy's awesome, right? And I do think he's actually a really good guy, and I like most of his stuff. But there is some like some bullshit. But one great thing that he did say that I do really think about a lot sometimes is when he says that why the Bible, like, all right, outside of it being biblical or anything like that, right? Why would you want like a large portion of your society to listen to the Bible or the Quran or whatever or any of the major religions? Is because if you follow this book or this rule book, you're probably going to live the most best life you can, even if you are dumb. So like someone with a very low IQ and stuff like that, if they were to follow the tenets like don't kill, don't steal, do this thing, be hardworking, but your word is your bond, blah, 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 don't steal your neighbor's wife, all these things, voila, your life is awesome.
Yeah,
You're like not. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect. Like there's tons of things in there why bad things happen to you, why they don't happen. Like you don't give up and stuff like that. Your family's like your principle and stuff and all this stuff. But imagine like you have you find yourself a wife, you have some kids, you try to grow them with that. You end up having a very fulfilled life. Mm-hmm. Like when you're like there is some people that like when they're about to die, they're like, damn, I was pretty famous. That was awesome. Yeah, this is goodbye. Other people are like, damn, I wish I had a family.
Yeah. Well, there's always that problem. There's a human problem, and that is like people, RG, what do you want? More.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Right.
I always want a little bit more.
Right.
And I think that's everybody's to everybody's fault. But it's the human experience, because the more and more we want, the more and more we strive, the more and more we develop, the more and more we gain. And as long as that energy is focused in a positive direction, in a direction that's going to actually bring results, then it's distributed well. If that energy is wasted on ranting and raving and doing nothing or hurting others, then it's worthless. Right. That energy's got to be focused in the right direction, and I don't see a lot of that going on today.
No, I mean it's.
But I know everybody wants it. I know
right.
people want it because I hear the message, and I think that that these last couple of generations that actually, okay, guys, it's time for you guys to. It's your world now because the boomers are done.
Yeah. Say that again for the guys in the back.
The boomers are done. They've already fucked up my generation and made us the sour, salty, freaking people that we are.
The pirates.
The pirates. But we're the generation that were mostly raised by the greatest generation, because the boomers, they had their heads up their asses most of the time, out there screwing things up. And Gen X, we were raised by our grandparents, most of us.
Yeah.
And we watched the boomers screw things up, and then we had to live in their world.
Right.
And now we're having to hand it over to the millennials and all of your guys' generation. So it's kind of like the X people are in a weird position because
you guys are graduating right now. I mean, like this is like for you guys who don't know, if you go into my YouTube channel, go into under live. I've got a 2 series on this and stuff. There's gonna be more videos coming out on the boomer generation. I've done entire breakdowns of the boomer generation. I'm doing one basically just off of demographics alone, and another one based off of just the culture and stuff. Their hippie free love culture, let it die and burn. A bunch of the pill and stuff, which wasn't their fault. That was more of like the greatest generation scientists. But then the boomers grabbed it. It was a very dangerous. Like every generation, there's a technology that comes out. Especially now, I know back in the day, like technology moved very slow. But now every generation, every 10 to 15 years, we're getting some crazy tech to come out, and it's up to every generation to figure out how to adjust that to human society. So what the boomers got was the pill, which was you make one small if like this, the Miguel bows, right? If you have one slight pound over to this side, the scale tips like this.
Yeah.
And this has a huge problem because like once you do that, you move the pendulum this way, then the pendulum comes back really hard on the other
Well,
direction.
the boomers have driven. If you look at the productivity of Americans since the boomers came into play,
of course,
it's gone straight up. Productivity has gone straight up. Wages have come down, but productivity has gone up.
Yeah. Profits of business have gone up.
They created
the worker.
The need for hospitals. They created the need for schools.
Yes.
The boomers drove all of that.
Yeah.
And because of their sheer numbers. And so this country grew very, very fast because of that generation. But like you said, it tipped the scale. And then it had to obviously tip the other way. And usually,
that's happening right now. And
And usually what happens is it always, when you tip a scale or you run a seesaw, it always overcompensates. You know, it goes too far this way, and then it goes too far that way. And that's kind of the stuff that we see now is that the scales are tipping, things are, and we're right in that middle phase of things changing right now. And it's going to be interesting to see the direction in which it goes. This space is key. Crypto space is key to it. It's going to be a transference of wealth.
The largest transfers of wealth of all time.
Yep. I mean, just look at the growth. I forget what the internet grew at, 40 to 60% or something like that. Some crazy, outrageous numbers. The fastest growing tech ever was the internet. And it was only growing at 40 to 60. I think it was 40 something percent. And now crypto is growing at 120%.
Yeah. And that's just because the way technology compounds on top of itself, right? Like, it took let's just say telephone poles really like the invention of like the telegraph and stuff like that. You had to put all these physical poles and stuff all over the United States and in the UK, and then places like India or Africa, they just skip all those steps and go straight to the cell phone.
Yeah, and remember the cell phone, dude. When I was working for the radio station, I carried a cell phone in a box around my neck.
How do you not have cancer?
Big old cord, you know, running around on that thing. So handfuls of people had cell phones, and now everybody's got not only a cell phone but a damn supercomputer in their hands, you know. And
more than they would put the what's the astronauts on the moon?
Yeah,
in your pocket.
In your pocket.
In your pocket.
In your pocket.
Some people on the watch. Shout out to all my iPhone users, iWatch users. My bad.
But yeah, it's amazing how technology has come. But what's very cool for everybody here who's watching and listening is that you guys are on the precipice of greatness. You guys are all here at the beginning of this thing. Even though crypto is 12, 13 years old, it's still brand new. It's still untouched